No, I'm busy. I got a crash out over video games getting destroyed by toxic positivity and really, really bad game devs. Alright, Gothic remakes faces major backlash over censorship and ugly females. Unhinged community manager hides. Alright, let's see it.
The Gothic 1 remake is already a nightmare for THQ Nordic, but also fans. We are sick and tired of titles being modernized and them censoring content and altering designs, and we're going to call it out, and that is very bad news for companies because they cannot stand when we speak up, and that is exactly what gamers are doing right now.
True.
I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic...
Chat, we will take back video games. We will put hot chicks in them. Don't get it twisted. Women want to have hot chicks in video games because they want to cosplay hot women in video games.
If you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, over the past few days, tons of gamers have been calling out this new remake because it is modernized slop. It is unfortunate that we cannot have mature themes in games really anymore, or they're toned down. We can't have characters who are damsels in distress, or else they're altered, and we can't have a beautiful women and hunky masculine men.
I noticed they started censoring even things that were like in Diablo 2 in the remake. They kind of soft censored, you know, in the catacombs in level 1 and 2, or 1, 2, and 3. I think there's 3 levels. No, there's 2. When you're going through Act 1 and there's like a bunch of gore and stuff and like people like, you know, being tortured, they removed that, I'm pretty sure, or they like kind of soft censored it. They're doing this to every video game. Catacomb has 4 levels, tourist. Fuck you, shut up. I've not played it in so long. Shut your mouth.
Anymore. Too much content now is sanitized, and we're going to call that out whenever we see it. And that's what gamers started doing, and this is very bad news for THQ Nordic and the team behind the Gothic 1 remake, because we have seen some images circulating of the characters,
let's see it.
How costumes are being completely altered. Some of these women look absolutely repulsive, and the moderators and the community managers have not been taking this quite well. The Steam forum is now being flooded with questions and criticisms and really ultimately backlash. And
a moderator of this forum has marked as a post as the answer to the publicly jumped aboard, putting all these topics in one place because Jesus Christ, let me make this clear, everyone. If you're real concerns about the models of our game, we are more than happy. It cuts off, and then it's like this topic is locked. So they're actually going into full meltdown, just damage control. They're like, fuck, the incels are here. They're not allowed to criticize us for having ugly characters in our game.
The moderators
censoring
and community managers decided to lock down threads, delete threads, try to silence people, and that caused the Streisand effect to occur.
But they're just making it worse because you're doing the thing that makes Streisand effects happen. People wouldn't notice as much if you don't tell them to shut up.
Zaidi here, the again community manager, said,
now to all the trolls farming clown emotes because they say they just post the same stuff on every game for clickbait, you will get removed real fast. This is Reddit mod energy again. Look at this. Oh my god. No, the trolls. Oh, they're just so mean. Everyone who's a detractor is trolling. They don't actually believe this.
Putting all all of these topics in one place because, Jesus Christ, don't bring him into this. So let me make this very clear to everyone. If you have real concerns about the models of our game, we are more than happy to hear from you in a constructive manner. This toxic hostility will not work, and I will purge the forums for it. We have shown time and again that we listen to feedback, so present your feedback in a constructive manner. And
if you really listen to feedback, you wouldn't censor the game that you're remaking. Make your own fucking game with your own fucking rules and your own ideas. Why are you censoring a game that already exists and then saying it's a remake or a remaster, whatever?
We listen. Now to all the trolls farming clown emotes because they just post the same stuff on every game for clickbait, you will get removed real fast. I think that this is so funny that these people are so out of touch with their audience that they will sit here and say genuine criticism or pointing out the fact that, yeah, this game looks bad is instantly in their mind, meaning you are a clown emote like reaction farmer. I think that is just so...
There are people who farm stuff for Steam points. So when you get an award on Steam, you can farm that stuff to get like basically cosmetics for your profile or something, or like emotes, which is ultimately like nothing. So the cope to say like, oh, they're just farming stuff and saying negative things because it's really easy to farm like emotes right now. It's such fat cope. It just means that you're living in a world where you can't take or handle criticism, and that your only reason to basically dismiss this is to say like, oh, they're just trolling. They're just doing it because it's not actually what they think. It's like the word grifting, basically.
Perfect that they have announced that to the world, because I love when these people prove that they are wrong, that they are out of touch, that they really know nothing about their audience, and it's so much easier to spot the tourist in the industry. It, of course, makes my job much easier. It makes it much easier for you guys.
The toxic hostility they're talking about is just criticism. It's the same thing as that game dev talked about in Concord, where they said at the end of the day when they were fired from Firewalk Studios and they got reshuffled, they said that they could not criticize anything about the game, and it was toxic positivity all the way, which is really similar to a lot of video games that I've played recently that have communities and they establish themselves. You can't criticize the game with it without them freaking out.
To respond
They think it's like a personal attack.
Of course, they think that if you do not basically just shut up and consume content, if you don't sit here and say that this looks good, you are participating in toxic hostility, which I thought hostility technically was already toxic, but of course we're talking about...
How is saying rip and then linking two images, I'm assuming like before and after, like comparing pictures, game got modernized is toxic hostility? They didn't say it was dog shit. They're just like saying that, yeah, things have changed.
Cultural Marxists here. They work their way into an industry. They completely desecrate it. They change the meaning of words. They create new terms.
Yeah.
And that's why words like fascist and NZ mean absolutely nothing anymore, because these types of people go around and they call everybody that is their opponent those absolutely terrible things. But this person actually had made a post on X the other day, which I screenshotted, but Zaidi here had said, sometimes I wonder if people are...
Oh, this is the Reddit mod. Here we go.
...aware of the massive change that has to happen within the gaming industry for it to survive another 10 years. People buy less games, yet more games than ever get released.
Yeah, because they're churning out dog shit.
Costs are insanely high, yet people will rarely buy full-priced games. People working in gaming know it's an oversaturated market and will become more and more so. Some massive changes will have to happen during the next decade for the industry to survive, as the current model is not sustainable, barely even now, which is so funny because they are forgetting the fact that gamers are rejecting active...
The market is shifting. They don't want to play your games. Why would you pay like $20 for McDonald's or like $40 for, I don't know, like a restaurant that has like organic beef in it, but it tastes like shit because you didn't season it or develop it properly, like a video game. And then And then you go to McDonald's and at least, like, yeah, it's slop and it's fun and, like, it's actually developed and people are, you know, enjoying the game. And then you try to reason yourself, like, no, it's the people's fault for eating the McDonald's. I provided them with this high quality dog shit. No, it's not. It's not the same.
This slop. People are calling out this type of content, and I posted so close, but you forgot one. Power-hungry community managers like you are running rampant on forums, purging threads and banning potential customers from...
Yeah, I just know these people are actually tourists because you've seen it so many times of people, like, deleting or, like, blocking people from voicing their opinion just makes it worse. How do you not notice that as a community manager, or at least someone who's chronically online, people get really, really mad when they get told what to do? If you want to let them spurg out and get upset, that's fine. Like, yeah, obviously it's not great for your game, but blocking them and moderating makes people, like, they gather in more in unison. It's like, oh shit, this person's not letting me speak my mind. Well, I'm gonna go and tell people about it.
Having discussions / criticizing games, so that also pushes us away. I think these people don't understand how much their actions truly do reflect on a final product. They'll sit here and say, oh, but I'm not technically a developer. You're close enough. You are somebody who is supposed to be managing the community and ultimately taking feedback from the community to give to developers. Now, this person did end up protecting their posts.
Every single time. Oh no! Positivity, gaming, and kittens!
Apparently they don't like getting called out and people throwing the truth back at them, but it seems that they have now been overwhelmed to the point where they can no longer moderate the Gothic 1 remake community thread over on Steam because there are hundreds to, well, we're getting...
Aspen Gold reaction!
Well, we're getting...
Oh my god, it's actually so recent. I didn't even look at the timestamps. Fat and ugly. Why do the women in this game look like men? Should have stuck to being faithful.
Probably close to 1,000.
Lord, it's going
different
viral.
Threads of people and also comments saying...
This wouldn't have gotten to Vara if they didn't delete these posts. There are so many games that fall through and they're bad remakes, but nobody really pays attention to them. The fact that you just went out of your way to, like, admit that you really, really didn't like people's opinions on your unreleased game shows that people will absolutely pay attention and give you the time of day to shit all over you for not letting them speak their mind.
How disappointed they are now. I don't want to sit here and say I'm the only reason this is happening because there were posts made previously, but a big reason why this is happening is because Asmongold had reacted to one of my videos on the topic, so it's just kind of like a chain of unfortunate events for this publisher and these developers. Censoring the remake, removed off wishlist. I mean, this thread alone has 433 comments. Oh,
that's a
but
lot.
This person's just clown emote farming, according to this CM. We want beautiful female characters, not political downgrades. This, to me, is just so sad because we shouldn't have to sit here and deal with this. Not every female in a game needs to be a 10 out of 10 bombshell and needs to be dressed in a chain mail bikini, but we are talking about women who...
This game is a lot older than I am. Like, I didn't play this game, but from what I understand, there's, like, sex slaves in it, right? Yeah, this game was made in 2001. This game is a little bit too old for me. It's an RPG where you get to choose being different classes, and then the setting is in a medieval fantasy realm where humans are fighting a losing war against orcs, and they have sex slaves. Like, I understand there has to be some sort of quality to make you feel immersed. Like, there's only 5 women and they're all sex slave? Well, yeah, that sucks. You're in a losing battle. That's what happens. Why do we have to baby realism for this? To cater to, like, these stupid people who aren't even gonna play the game.
Who are slaves, who are supposed to be very attractive, very appealing. There's no way Gomez would be choosing a land whale to abuse.
She said it, not me. I didn't say that.
There's no way that people would be choosing these characters that look like they got hit in the face with a frying pan and then had a $10 plastic surgeon fix their face. There's no way that these women would be put into these situations judging by their new designs. Can't wait for all these DEI slop companies to fail.
Someone said, I want to scroll up for a second there. The game's gonna fail anyway. It's cooked. THQ hired some random Spain studio to didn't make a single game, and they're making this game for like 6 years now. Yeah, I mean, the jokes aside, I can see why they haven't made six games in 6 years, bro.
I think that these developers should be extremely worried because, if you don't know, THQ Nordic was acquired by Embracer Group back in 2014. You know who else was acquired by Embracer, made a new modern slop game, and then was shut down after almost 30 years in the industry? Volition, because of the Saints Row reboot.
Oh my god. You guys know how bad the Saints Row reboot was. I played Saints Row, by the way. I played Saints Row 2 and 3 and 4. I did play 4, but 4 wasn't that good, but it was okay. It's like, it's good slop. But anyway, I know this is gonna be so bad. Oh my god, I didn't realize how dire it was.
We could see that same exact thing happen here, so I would be a little bit nervous if I was these devs. And this game doesn't even technically have a release date. It just says 2026, so maybe it won't even come out, but either way, I think that what they're calling a faithful...
They're going to have millennial writing in my medieval fantasy about humans getting destroyed by orcs. Mark my words, it's gonna happen.
Adaptation or a faithful remake is going to be terrible for them upon launch because I don't see any of these people that are commenting here buying it. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to play it. And I'm so upset about this situation because Gothic was always unique. It was interesting. And there's so much content that they could change here. I mean,
and again, they're just putting it into a broader audience like pool. That's what they want to do. They want to censor it so it's more touchy-feely. It's not about slaying orcs and being a human and having, you know, these war themes. Like, war makes me uncomfy. Uh-oh, I don't like that.
Look at the way Dragon Age the Veilguard went. Dragon Age previously had some pretty dark themes and a dark aesthetic, and it was adult and mature in tone, and then Veilguard was like, oh, hey, guys,
I was too young to play it. My parents probably wouldn't have let me play that game. I was too young.
It was so bad. And it's
even years later.
I don't want that to keep happening to video games. It's why I'm personally very glad KOTOR seems to be in development hell. I love Knights of the Old Republic. It's one of my favorite games ever, but I would rather them not come out with it than them butcher it. And we just know they'd play the non-binary game with Revan, that's for sure. And then Juhani would probably constantly be running around talking about how she's a lesbian and she's proud of it. Like, it would just be too obnoxious.
Well, that's what they did in Saints Row. Saints Row is about a bunch of thugs going out and stealing shit and having a good time. It's like the most goofy, over-the-top, ridiculous, like humorous, funny. There's like prostitutes, there's gambling, like there's in Saints Row 3 or 4, no, I think it was 3, there's like a game show and it's just about like, you know, going through these like obstacle courses and stuff. Saints Row was like the most millennially written game ever, and the gameplay was unplayable. It was absolute horseshit.
Judging by the source material. Gothic.
Did any of you notice the diversity in Dispatch until someone pointed it out? No, why is that? Because it was shoved in your face. Because the writing is good. Like, what do you mean? There are gay characters pre-2010 that existed in the world. Like, nobody said anything about them. Yeah, obviously there was probably some schizos here and there, but that was a minority. that would point out and be like, oh, well, I freaking hate that the gays are in my video games. Like, normal average people didn't care because it was well written. They were just another person. They just, you know, were gay. It wasn't their entire fucking personality. It didn't fucking matter. And then the gameplay on top of that is good enough. So even if you didn't like that kind of, you know, that kind of thing and it offended you for some reason, you could just move on and play the game.
LOL, more like pathetic. I identify as non-binary, fat and ugly. Why do the women in this game look like men? I hate seeing this happen. As a woman, I like to play as pretty women, just like there's a lot of men out there who want to look at hunky masculine men because they're masculine. I want to look at women.
True.
Who look feminine, and that shouldn't be some big controversial take. We should actually want to look at characters that look like either of the two genders.
You know what, this is kind of like a tangent a little bit here, but when I played Saints Row 3 and I was a kid, when you pick a female character in Saints Row 3, they don't really change the writing too much to soften your character. They don't feminize it very much. You're still I played actually both campaigns as a female and a male because I really liked the game at the time. I played both characters, right? But the dialogue doesn't change that much. And you come off as more masculine than feminine as a female, and like the dialogue doesn't change that much. So when you're like hitting on a woman, you're still doing the same thing as a girl in the game. But I never really noticed it because I was like, well, you know, if you're part of like a massive like crime organization, a mafia, you would very likely be a more masculine woman because you have to be hard and you have to be able to shoot a gun and like, you know, kill people and like act like a hard ass, right? And I thought that was fine, and I thought it was more immersive than like if they changed it to be like, oh no, I'm a dainty damsel in distress. It was part of the game, and I thought that was very well written in my opinion.
Going viral now. Faithful remake, How to Ignore the Publisher. RIP, disappointment. There's really not a whole lot of positive threads here, which I think is just so funny. If they had such a big audience, if they had a lot of people who actually supported them, you would think that those people would be here, and they're not. Maybe once we get
just play the OG again. Yeah, don't waste your time. Let them know. Go play the original.
Closer to release, a lot of people will forget about this, and there will be an opportunity for them to make a few bucks off of sales. But if they're smart, they would add some development time onto the game, because again, it doesn't have an established release date right now. They would fix these character designs, they would fix the costumes, they would listen to our feedback, but will they do that? Probably not.
People didn't even get that mad when they censored some of the characters in Diablo 2. Yeah, they did not make them look one-to-one like the actual characters. You know what I'm saying? From Diablo 2 to Diablo 2 the remake, people got really upset, right? It didn't really matter that much because at the end of the day, you're not really staring at the character all that much because it's an ARPG, it's not an RPG. But I could see how it would make people upset if it was an RPG.
That's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. They just straight up just made them ugly. Informative. Make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate it. They
censored Andario's Booba in D2 Remaster. I know, man. It's so... Again, it's so two-faced. They say like, oh, we want to change things for the better, and then they change it, and it's like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Do you think, like, women need to be, like, censored all the time? I mean, after all, it's just a video game, right?
Your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.
By the way, these characters in Gothic don't say anything. They ignore you in the original. So then why are people mad? Like, I don't get it. Like, you're not just allowed to show how it was. If you're not allowed to show what it's like in a medieval fantasy, how women are treated in war. Are we just gonna ignore the fact that, like, you know, in war, there's prisoners of war, people get hurt, they get their legs blown off, sometimes they get captured, and, you know, bad things happen to them? Like, I don't know, I think that, like, brings a level of realism that is fine to have an introspective, like, you know, view on it. Like, it's still a video game. It's not real, but, you know, makes you think a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Very weird.